We have hopefully some fun updates to share from our community outreach and any subcommittees that have reports. But just a first item of business. If anyone who has approved the March 18th minutes would like to make a motion to approve, or if you saw anything that needed to be changed or edited, let me know. Shana's not here today, but I'll take notes and share those back with her.
Move to approve the minutes.
Oh.
I'm sorry, where was that from? I didn't see the.
Right over here.
RJ.
RJ.
Thank you, RJ. Second.
Meryl, didn't Meryl do it? No, she's not.
Angelique.
Angelique.
Angelique, thank you.
Phew, we got past that.
All right, we're off to a roaring start. Well, Kelly, I know you shared some things via email since our last meeting, which I really appreciate. It'll be nice to have all those documents electronically. Do you want to just recap what you shared, and then we can go through some updates, make sure we're all on the same page? I know we had some folks here this time who were not here last time, so.
Yeah, happy to do that. I'm right now using my own personal Google Drive for the lack of anything else to use. I actually know the Mark here, who's the assistant director of IT. So he had some thoughts on where we could put this, but anyway, there's that's the place where the current version of the organization list is. I downloaded this morning because I can't figure out Wi-Fi here. And we have had quite a bit, some good confirmations and updates of emails. I chatted with Shweta, and I chatted a couple days ago, and it's slow going. I don't know if anybody else, it's very hard to get people to respond, but they are one by one. I cyber stalk their website and find other people to contact. That seems to be effective. And then I also put out different months of the calendars in case we got actual events to put on the calendar. And then I put out just a regular Word document for notes, like to presidents, or any kind of notes about the contacts or something else like that. So there's a calendar. It's all in the same Google Drive. I'm happy to send that out again.
Has everyone been able to access both of those?
Good question.
Items successfully?
I didn't see that email, so I haven't tried yet. So I will do that.
Yes.
Anyone else have any?
I've been able to access it.
Yeah. Anyone else with issues, or not issues, but didn't receive the email, haven't been able to access it?
I have issues, but I always have issues, as Kelly knows. I am just really have difficulty with my computer. It's very old, and I have difficulty. So I didn't see the calendar thing that you're
I put that in a little bit later, so that's actually a fair comment, because I thought, well, there may be some events. So I'll send it out again and kind of give specific links to the different. I put each month separately, but if you go to the Google Drive link, it should all be there. They're basically just Word calendars. I played around with the calendars a little bit. Seems pretty easy to just put in text and take it out.
Which email did you put it in?
I'd have
Last one I have for you is the annual convention registration.
Oh, it was well before that.
Oh, okay. Okay, I think wait. Oh, the invitation to collaborate. Okay, got it.
Yeah, March 18th, I have an email on that date.
Thank you. Yep, I got it.
Very good. Thanks, Joe.
Okay, well, technology and email issues aside, I guess holler back to me or Kelly if you're having any issues with access or other. Happy to help as needed. I think without being super detailed, I guess, about your outreach, does everyone want to just give a quick update on how it's going, or if you have anything of note or any major, anything major, I guess, that came out of your outreach, if anything worthy of sharing with the group, I guess, would be.
I mean, I can go if you want.
Sure.
So, Impact Dance, Taria Phillips. I reached out to her. I don't know if her trip is still going, because I haven't seen them and I haven't gotten a hold of her. But I have other ways to get a hold of her, I think. So I'm gonna try roundabout. Lindetta, I sent them an email. Haven't heard back just yet, but I have other ways of contacting her. All that aside, the people that I wanted to bring up are Coalescence Theater. So it's New Route Theater on the thing, so we need to change that. But Coalescence Theater is the name that he changed, I think 2 years ago, a year ago, something like that. Anyways, they have a significant amount of, let me get the screen back up of all your faces. Does everyone know Coalescence Theater? Does everyone know Don Chandru?
Yep.
Okay, I see a lot of no's. So Coalescence Theater, their mission, instead of like the focus being on the art form, their focus is actually on the diversity of the audience. So when the focus of the diversity of the audience is your priority, then what you put on the stage is very, very important. So in order to create that safe space for them to feel seen and heard and understood and all of that, that's his goal. So he partners with a substantial amount of culturally diverse playwrights, actors, actresses, and by cultural, it doesn't just mean like South Indian or indigenous. It's also LGBTQ. It's also, you know what I'm saying, like every single different walk of life that you can think of. So that's a phenomenal organization to make sure that we always know about. He does have, not necessarily, I'm gonna say like concerns, just because one of the questions is like that I've been asking is, what is your expectation for us? Like as a cultural arts partner. And so, and the things that he was saying, this was weeks ago, and I didn't actually write it down because it's things that we're kind of alignment on. It's just now I can't think of it because I'm on the spot. So, but it's like, just the actual physical support of the cultural arts. Because I can bluntly say that I've never seen anybody on the commission at any of my events ever. And I am a cultural arts organization. So the actual support from the commission, not necessarily that you have to be at every event, but you are helping promote it, that it actually looks like we really care about the cultural arts and we're not just saying it because it's in our title. That's very important to them, that to the follow through, not no lip service, stuff like that. Who was the other? Conexiones Latinas, I can give an update on them. Oh, and Don will, he would love to like actually talk to y'all and let you know what he's doing, because it's a lot. So instead of me bringing that back, that would be one of those cases where I would want to bring him into a meeting. So look forward to that. That's exciting. Conexiones Latinas, Jose and his wife Marianela, so Conexiones Latinas has, they've, I don't want to say lost, but a lot of people have moved away. And then with COVID, their organization has kind of like I don't want to use a negative word because it's not, it's actually, it's building back up. So basically they're looking for new board members. They're looking for new members, period. So they're in like a rebirth stage. So just to keep you updated on that, they're in a rebirth stage. BCAI is partnered with them to do our Mixed Fuse Evolve, which is our annual fundraiser, because it is completely Latina focused this year, with surrounding Latina events because it's in the fall. And then, but in May, BPOC, which is Bilingual Parent Something Committee at Cedar Ridge, Marianella is the lead of that. And so we partnered with them to do a cultural exchange dance for their picnic thing to get the people more interested in Conexiones Latinas and stuff like that. So that's what I have so far. I have others, but those were like the big ones, and I'll keep updating as we go.
It's cool that people are getting things going. You say they have a lot going on, so that'll be helpful with those individual month calendars, like when they have actual dates of like, this is going to happen on this date and it's confirmed. Then that's the kind of stuff I think that we would transfer over to the Bloomington Convention to get on their calendar and start to really, you know, try to see where that outreach and support can be. So that's good.
Does anyone, yeah, Meryl, I'm curious too, just as Meryl's sharing and as you're all thinking, if you could share out whether folks are sort of getting going and have things coming up programming generally, or kind of what the temperature was from your groups. But yeah, go ahead, Meryl.
Really just short report. You had asked for just an update on how things are going. So I've reached out to all the people on my thing. I have received no response back, but I've done a little bit of digging. We've got some, you know, it's fine. We'll figure that out. It takes time, right? But just a couple of things to update is I know that most of them are working toward just through my own digging. And so we're just going to see what's going to happen, but letting you know that you wanted to report on what we've done. I've touched base with everybody.
Shveta,
Awesome.
I thought had a good term, which was dormant. So I think, you know,
Yeah,
COVID,
dormant, yeah.
COVID dormancy, I think is
Yeah.
what we're coming out of.
Still living it every day over here. Sorry.
Yeah.
COVID
Yeah.
dormancy.
Go ahead, Tina.
Oh, okay. I reached out to everybody on my list and got a new one called the Hanger Art Company, which is, they have like 11 artists in their gallery. And one of the neat things is some people have invited me to come and meet them. And I really want to do that. And I think that's important to have a personal connection with people. So my plan is to do that. And I know almost everybody else on my list except for around the corner. I plan on meeting Janine Baird, and also kind of a cool guy that I haven't met yet, but I want to, from Baroque and Consort, is Beasley Lefew. And if nothing else, the name is intriguing.
Yes.
I want to meet Beasley. So I know you had a gathering before COVID and you invited artists and people to come in, and I hope that happens again. I would really like to be a part of that and meet folks. So I think that personal connection is very important.
Yeah.
Tina,
And Tina, I meant to touch base with you. I think both you and Kelly and I all have an overlapping person. Janine's on my list for another group, but if you're already chatting with her, I'll just make a note on the list that Tina's got it covered. I'll send that group to you. And then Kelly, I think you and I both have Nick Benson, who's in 2 roles, one at ISU.
Oh.
So we can chat.
Yeah.
So I talked to Nick earlier in the week.
Okay.
I was going through the list last night, just kind of trying to see where the overlap is, but I'm happy to chat with.
Yeah, that's a good point, because Janine
Yeah.
has her own studio, Art Vortex,
Yeah.
and she's also under the Around the Corner. So we just have
Yeah.
to, so yeah, we'll quit bugging her.
We can collapse those.
Right, quit
those
bugging people from
contacts.
2 directions. So we'll do
Yeah.
that.
I just have one question. I've been sending my stuff to Kelly. Should I send it to you, Melissa, or?
Nope.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Nope. Kelly works perfect.
Sorry.
I'm good.
No, you're good. I just noticed last night there were some, after I talked to Nick, I was like, oh, I should probably go back and see if there's, some of these folks are great. They do multiple things with multiple groups. So just to make it more efficient on their side of things. So
Great.
no biggie.
Can I just jump in?
Anyone
I was gonna ask, Tina, did you end up getting the business cards that we all have from the commission with regard to your meetings? It'd be nice if you can give them a card if you're going to meet with people. And the cards are just general, but we put a sticker of our name on the back of them. So the point is, any of the cards would work if we can somehow convey some cards to you. It'd be nice to have those.
Yeah, I do not have those.
Yeah, I thought maybe you didn't. Maybe anybody who else would. I don't know. I don't remember when we got those, but
I think there's some in the Creativity Center. I can check on those. I think there's a box of them there.
Yeah, I can ask. I made a note to ask Shannon too. If you haven't picked up your binder yet and you want to, and you also want to grab some business cards, you can probably put that on your list when you contact Shannon.
I can go down there. I have already picked up my binder, but I can go down there and get some.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
with regard to my contacts, I found a few more from at Wesleyan, sort of digging, as you all are just describing. So put a few more on the list, and I made the contact, but typical faculty and or university types in general, they're going to contact when they need something, as opposed to, oh, thank you for your consideration of our endeavor. So, they're aware again, and I run into them from time to time on campus too, but so at least I made the contact, made sure they're aware of us, and hopefully they will utilize our considerable influence in the community.
Julia, Jeff, RJ, Shweta, anything else you guys want to share? Otherwise, we can talk about some next steps. Okay.
Yeah, I was a slacker and didn't get to it till this week. So I've only heard from one person, but he and I are actually going to try to meet in person in a week or two. So yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
It comes in slowly and outreach and everybody's very happy. And then sometimes I went ahead and threw in like 3 more emails on a follow-up, and then I got a response from one of them, and that was indeed the new contact. So you just have to play around with it. We'll get through it, but we've got a lot of good updates on here, which is great.
Yeah, I've gotten through my second round of reach outs. The Mclean County History Museum got back to us and put us in touch with their new person who's in charge of that. Julie just directed me in the right direction. And then one was a dud, which I will get to updating here. I'm having trouble with my OneDrive on my computer at home, so I'm just gonna have to do it. Sorry, I digress. And then so I've sent 2 rounds to the other contacts. Just still haven't heard anything. The second one was pretty much just like, hey, if this isn't the right address, please just let me know. Just hey, I'm just trying to get to the right avenue. Yeah. Otherwise, not too much to report.
As things reopen, since we're in a small town, one of the benefits of living in a small town is just going by the ones you just never heard from after a few months. You can just be like, hey, bring our cards and just say, here's what we do, so that you can do a personal shakedown.
Julia, did you have something?
I have also not gotten a lot of this done yet. I had some life stuff going on. I can tell you what the libraries are still doing. Both Bloomington and normal public library are open to the public, but doing all virtual programming yet. There hasn't been any move to get any in-person stuff back yet.
Gotcha. Shweta, I saw you unmuted too. Did you have anything else to add?
No. I think Kelly has filled my part of updates really well. And I did add few new contacts, and to people that I reached out, the good news is that I did not have any bounce back. So the email IDs are working.
And they just have to check it, right?
Yes. And I kind of plan to, I have done 1 round of cold calling to see if people pick up the phone and if, I can chat with somebody. But again, sorry, I just have a little sore throat today. But I'm going to try it 1 more round and see if it works and if I can get people talking.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Shweta added some great organizations such as the Mclean County Tamil Sangam and the Telangana Association, which actually is part of their mission to host festivals and
Mhm.
artistic endeavors. So a few of them fit right into our mission, which is fantastic.
Mhm.
Awesome. Yeah, I would say of my 10, it's been a mixed bag too. I probably heard back from half of them. So
Oh wow, good. You're the luckiest one then.
I work with some of them, so they probably felt guilty, like they had to respond.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think, you know, we're going to hear back from folks at different times based on, you know, what's going on with them in their life and their business or their volunteer activities. So, you know, as you can set aside time between now and our next meeting to prune some of those relationships and check in with folks where you can. If you're a social media user, I know some of you may not be. If you are, you know, follow your groups, try to reach out to them directly. If they have a social media presence, they may not either. So you might be able to get some good intel by checking out some of those other channels. I want to talk about a couple of next steps because I want to make sure that we're sharing back this information ongoing and you know, using it in a way that benefits our community groups and kind of drives us forward. Kelly, have you given any thought to what's a productive or organized way to share back some of this information with the CVB? Is there something we can do that would be more helpful? Do you want to give it some more thought and we can talk about that at our next meeting, or you can share back with us between now and then? But I want to make sure we're pushing our stuff forward.
The timing, we have to figure out sort of eventually needs to be sort of like a cadence that on, you know, the 10th of the month, anything in on the 10th of the month then gets like, you know, sent over, so to speak, events or anything we have on our calendar. Kelly Highland is in charge of their newsletter and the calendar. So if we, if things, right now it's only quarterly, but if there's a big annual event, the sooner we get that in there, they're very willing to highlight that in their newsletter that goes out to about, I want to say 1,500, which I actually thought was, given the population of the city, kind of low, but we can also help with that, encouraging people to sign up. So once we get actual something on the calendar to share, I'm happy to meet with Kelly and Matt, maybe to see what the cadence would look like for them. We don't want to make extra work for them. And then on the flip side, we have this other thing of showing, giving sort of like a how-to and encouraging all of these organizations to input their own stuff on the calendar. We're not going to do that. And so that's sort of like we had talked about, that's outreach number one. And then number two, somehow educating more of the public, and that would be a larger discussion. And, you know, if we need a little bit of money to do that, if it's just a little bit, sometimes Jim can hide us in the BCPA budget. If it's a little bit more, we'd have to go for city council. But if we need something like a mailing, or we want to put it in the water bills or something like, you know, don't forget, go to the BC, you know, maybe the CVB will pay for it. To put a public thing out there, like, you know, find out what's in your community, go here to find out, kind of thing. So, but the connection, anyway, go ahead.
Do you think, since, you know, is it worth, I don't know, we have to take the temperature on this with a couple of folks. Again, I don't know how, maybe people already know about the CVB calendar and they don't need our assistance with this, or it could be something that we offer and whoever takes advantage of it, takes advantage of it. We could do a virtual session, offer a virtual session for our partners with the CVB to do a walkthrough of the CVB sort of website and newsletter and give people a tutorial on how to participate in those items. I mean, I know Kelly joined us virtually. You know, it doesn't have to be a commission meeting. We can do a separate
Right.
I did get a lot of feedback from my groups that they have stuff coming up in some capacity this summer. I think you're right. Some of the programming will be virtual.
Mhm.
Some will start to kind of phase back to, normal times, but maybe in a smaller way. So it might be a good time to do some of that education as
That's
folks are
true.
ramping back up. Maybe we could do it could be less, an hour. It could be like a lunch and learn type
Mhm.
format. People can join from wherever.
Yeah, I think that would be a great thing. I mean, we have a pretty good list of emails now, and invite Kelly to do a demo and answer their questions. And it wouldn't be a commission meeting, but it would be something we sponsored, and we could certainly send,
Mhm.
probably have them send the invite. We have to think through that. These are
Yeah,
all-
we can check on the Zoom licensing and
Yeah.
how that might work, but
Right. But yeah, I think that would be very helpful, and, explain the calendar and encourage organizations to let their constituencies know as well.
okay. Anyone else? Yay, nay? I already know how to do that. That sounds awesome. I don't know.
Go for it.
Thumbs
That's-
up, shrugs. Okay. All right. Well, again, I do think there's some folks who are very looped in with the CVB and their calendar. So, this won't be something for everyone, but for a lot of folks, it might be something that they do need information on and can spend some time, pop in for half an hour if that's valuable to them, and take what they want from it and leave the rest. So, well, Kelly, you and I can coordinate maybe with some outreach to the CVB on that and see how we can put that together maybe sometime mid-May.
Yeah, I think so. And because they have the host, they do those quarterly
Mhm.
meetings anyway, so they must have hosting capability. I wonder how many people they can host. And so we almost need like a group of like 3 to 4 of our artistic organizations to like bounce ideas off of, do you like asking questions? Do you know about this calendar? Do you know how to use it? Do you think your peers do or don't know how to use it?
Well, if anyone's already heard back from their group, or, I know some of you know your folks pretty well. I would say just based on our in-person meeting, which again was a while ago, but
Mhm.
everything's been shut down. I don't think a lot of people know about it / use it. I'm guessing. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think there needs to be, I would vote for sort of this retrench, let people know, and get the CVB more publicizing it as well. Use them as a sort of outreach. It's to their interest, and they have the money and mouthpieces to do it.
I'd be happy to do a quick tutorial on the WGLT community calendar too. It's super simple. I can point folks to it on the website. Again, I know it's a little cumbersome. I feel what organizations are saying about it's a little cumbersome, but once you have the data down on a Word doc or an email, it's just a cut and paste into a couple different places. So it can go quick, and it can reach different audiences and spread the word. And sorry, Mark, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, so for an event, for an info session like this, are we planning to do kind of an email blast to all of our, what you want to call constituents or whatever, to say, for example, FYI, we will be conducting a calendar review, how to post to the CVB, to the WGLT. That's something I'm just kind of looking as a macro view for events like this, because we don't want to deluge people, right, with emails, but it would maybe be good if we did from time to time send out an email blast to everybody, when we have an email address, and that way they could participate. I was trying to think of how you would disseminate the information to say, come to this tutorial if you want to, other than just word of mouth.
Oh no, we'll invite folks. Yeah, I think we need to talk to the CVB first and get some details together. But yeah, I that can be a one email from one person to the group all together. That doesn't need to be individual outreach. I don't think now what will be helpful is that most of you have made some sort of contact with your folks. So they'll at least have, the Cultural Commission on their radar. Hopefully they'll be more likely to open an email from us. So yeah, I think there's a lot of benefit there in reaching out to the entire group and inviting everyone.
Do we have that capability? I mean, we have the email addresses, but then it does kind of become somebody has to sort of manage the list. And then we all make a decision. Here's the text we want to send out. We all look at it or something. And then somebody sends it. Well, who would do that? Like Shannon or?
We could ask if we have the text of the message and the downloadable list of emails. That's just easy to pull over both those. Then Shannon could do that. And we'd have to talk about handling responses because we do have Cultural Commission at City Bloom. We do have an email, but then who handles all of that responses or bounce backs? So we have to talk to her about that. Does she just forward them somewhere? Does one of us have access to that email box? Judging by the current slowness of response, maybe the responses wouldn't be that much. But you could send a link to the Zoom link, and that way that takes that out of that they would just register over there. If you want them to register for the meeting, we could do it that way. So it wouldn't have to be a response. And then each of us could say like, hey, I don't know if you saw this. I would encourage you to go from our little group, maybe. Meryl?
So I have a quick question, kind of not totally off topic, but similar. So we've talked a little bit back about like a newsletter, and we had kind of in a way voted it down, but not totally voted it down. We just kind of put it on the back burner several meetings ago. And it was because we didn't want to be redundant. This conversation is now opening that up again, because now we're asking for touch points of people. We're offering actual programming where, that's something that is a little bit more like so I just want to kind of throw that out there, that this is a great open door for like some sort of quarterly something from the commission, which has these tutorials out, or maybe it's just a one-off thing for here's what's happening in 2021, and we figure it out from there. But I just don't, I want to remind us that we did talk about something like this, and we kind of were like, no, the CVB does that. That's kind of not our territory.
That's true.
But this is opening it up, and I'm not opposed to that. So I just want to put that reminder out there that this is a great entryway into doing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
What we wanted, and then also being that touch point that Angelique was talking about. We're providing support. This is how we're going to support you. There's no way we can attend every single program of every single event or group or there's just no way. There's no way. But this is a way that we can say, look, no, we're still here for you. Look at what we're going to give you. This is literally on a silver platter, how you can be extremely awesome and sustainable with still having us as support. So sorry, tangent, soapbox, getting down 3 steps, we're good.
No, I think you're right to circle back to, and we'd have to have a plan for the future. Is it one-off when we have something to say, or is it a quarterly? Do we coordinate with CVB? Those are good questions.
So what you were saying, Kelly, about having the downloadable list and transferring it over and giving it to Shannon and all of that, the conversation goes all, because once we have that system in place for disseminating that information, it makes the conversation of, I hate to use newsletter, but the newsletter more tangible. And I see Jean-Un has his hand up.
I think last time when we had a discussion about this,
it was you. It was going
so,
through the CPA.
Yeah, we talked about this, and I don't know when you are trying to plan to send the newsletters, but in my agenda, when our season starts, I am sending monthly email, and we were talking about piggybacking that part. If we could do that, I would say from August or July, I would make 2 different sections, the news from BCPA and Arena, and the next section is news from Cultural Commission. I could make that happen as a monthly way with some animations and what kind of news is coming, what happened, and any message that you're willing to send. So that is in my agenda. So I was thinking from like August, because our announcement day is August 4th. So right after that, I am thinking of starting monthly email for the seasons, and like a next month or like a next 60 days, what's happening in BCPA and Arena. Maybe we can say that next month or next 60 days, what's happening in Bloomington Normal, like that kind of way, like two different sections.
Yay. Yay for programming at the BCPA.
Yeah, who's the audience?
That's what I was
Is that
about
more
to
about,
ask.
yeah, that's the, so there'll be, that's a,
So this audience, we have the whole list of ticket buyers' email addresses. So that will be our target. And also, if we include our marketing team in it, they could use the geofence and sending like Facebook messages. So they can click hyperlink and go to our newsletter like that way.
Awesome.
So that's my plan.
I don't want to, I think the conversation around what does this look like ongoing is a good one. I just don't think we're there yet. I think that we don't want to duplicate services. The CVB has a good thing going. BCPA has a good thing going. I am not comfortable committing us to any sort of quarterly, God forbid, monthly communication. I just don't think we're there. But as we sort of, get our sea legs underneath us, reach out to our organizations and see what the need is and where we better fit, I think that makes sense. Now, I think the program offering a program, I'll say probably a strong word, but offering a way for our partners to connect with the CVB to do an educational session or a lunch and learn, I think is our role, and that is in our wheelhouse. And it's an education opportunity. It's a connector opportunity where, we're not necessarily hosting or, we don't have any major formal role, but we're the ones saying, hey, these groups have a cool thing going on and a need. The CVB has the platform and the technology and the knowledge, and, how can we help bridge that gap? So.
yeah, I think that's, it's a great amplification to the public, particularly BCPA ticket buyers, is a great amplification of the public. We have about 100 organizations that we've collected to help support and bring more to the community. So it's a little bit of a different audience. And I agree that we want to, our first salvo would be like, hey, let us help you come out of your COVID dormancy with this, and let us help you find your things, enter your stuff on the calendar. But then the public education, maybe that would be a fantastic thing to include in Jong Hoon's newsletter is, hey, don't forget, this is great stuff coming up at the BCPA and the Arena, and for other things in the community, go here to the CVB calendar. There's other cool stuff going on. And so there's some good cross points with that.
Yep.
We would need to make sure we access people who don't attend BCPA shows, or they attend BCPA shows under an email of an organization such as BCAI. So like people from lower income, people from lower socioeconomic brackets don't normally attend BCPA events because of accessibility financially. So
it would be a
sure
separate audience
that as well. That's why I think that was a great point to bring up. Who is your audience? Because we don't want to leave anybody out.
No, I would agree.
No, it's just one more touch point. It's not replacing any other touch point. It's just an additional communication mode.
I like I like the idea of obviously not doing our own. That's nice. Tagging on to that, we would just have to make sure that our outreach is on point with like Boys and Girls Club and Project Oz, and you know what I'm saying, like all these other organizations, the Baby Fold, just making sure that they are also they have the opportunity or the access to their clientele's emails to be able to also let them know the things that the opportunities available to them too.
And maybe we could co-opt them that's saying like, hey, if you're looking for stuff for your, make sure your constituency, your clients know about, if we can get this calendar really kind of like double the input for free events and stuff, let them say like, please help us letting your clients know about this calendar. And if they need to access it in your facility, it's free, it's there. And there's a lot of free events, very low cost events, including sports and stuff. But we could co-opt them into doing that, because no, you're never going to get an email to everybody. You're never going to, even putting something in the water bill. Yeah, not everybody, you have multifamily generational homes and stuff. So only one person gets the water bill. So you're never going to get the dream. You're just never going to do it. You can just make good efforts.
So I'm not normally supposed to talk here anyway, but I'm gonna just put my thought in here. Any kind of advertisement or education mode has a limit. So what I'm trying to say right now is we need to have our own spies in each organization. So when there is a newsletter going out or from us or CBB, the spies of each organization has to forward to their own list as well. That one is really, really crucial, because as Angelique just said, there are some people will never get it because it's different demographic, I would say. In that case, let's say if we send this newsletter to Don Chandro, Don Chandro has all the contacts for their own groups, and he can forward that email to everyone. So when we are doing educating our organizations, the leader of them, perhaps we can recruit them as our spies or our agents of marketing, and then we are going to do this, and your job is amplifying it in your own group. Then I believe we are helping them, they are helping us at the same time. That's my 2 cents. I'm sorry.
No, it's great. Yeah, I mean, word of mouth will be powerful, and advocacy is a big part of what we all do, and as volunteers and as commissioners and in our workplaces. So I think building these relationships with some of our partners, especially the partners we don't know as well, will be really critical to helping us build that trust and sharing information and thinking of each other, because,
thinking outside the box. And you see me when Jong-Hoon talks, I take my headphones out because he's sitting across from me and it sounds horrible if I do both. So that's why I'm not like purposely like not listening to it.
I think that connecting though is a really good opportunity, especially since we've already all connected with individuals. And now if we send out the occasional important, educational, helpful, whatever the term, email blast, that's separate really from having a newsletter of events. Hey, here are our events. I mean, it's almost like, here's something important we, the commission, would like to tell you. And we're from time to time going to tell you these important things that may or may not apply to you. I like the idea of being able to sort of piggyback on the BCPA if we feel like we need to get out to that constituency base. Then, like you say, if the BCPA is doing it, if the CBB is doing it, then why do we need to do it? So it would be something very unique that we would feel that, I don't know, a macro concern. I mean, I don't know what it would be right now, but Jong-Hoon was suggesting that we can sort of piggyback in a separate category that would make it clear to the receiver that, here is all your entertainment information, BCPA, local, whatever. It's important for you, subscribers of the arts. But then separately, from a kind of a macro commission point of view on some issue that's very important, we would then also put that in a separate category. And I would think that would be very infrequent that we would do that. But it is nice that we, via this means, we would have access to the people, to the public, and not just to the leaders of organizations. But I think I agree with Melissa that our real function here is to coordinate the leaders of the organizations and keep the organizations themselves healthy, and not necessarily recruit, their customers.
Any other comments on just as a quick recap, next steps? Kelly and I will chat about some coordination with the CVP and see how that might work and look if it's technically and logistically possible. We'll circle back with this group between now and our next meeting. If we get to the next step of how we communicate it out to our partners, we'll reconnect with Shannon on what those options are and let you guys know.
Yeah, I think the CVB might have the infrastructure that we just steal. That would be helpful because then you get it going faster than trying to navigate internal City of Bloomington. Who's going to answer the emails? They may have, since they're very much wanting to get more public and more use of the calendar and more public views of the calendar. So we can kind of tap that. Here's what's in it for you. And see whatever infrastructure we can steal from them.
Awesome. Okay, I think if no one has anything else, I think we can talk about some next steps.
I have one question, Melissa.
Sure.
So is there any limitation on how much we want to grow our list of contacts? Like, it's coming from the discussion that I had with Kelly. There are several other artists out there in the Bloomington Normal area, who I have kind of met through either Facebook or Instagrams, and they don't have any schedule or anything going on to, showcase what their arts are. But I know they have places where they put their art pieces for sale. So, is it okay if we bring them on our current list and add them on as well? Or is there any limitations on that list?
Yeah, Shweta and I talked about, we definitely want to really beat the bushes for artists, cultural arts organizations. We call it organizations. I use in abroad. It's sole proprietor is an organization, but artists. And we want to bring them on. We want to really make sure we have a diverse representation. But we also, like if it's someone that is creating some art in their house and that's the only place they do it, do we include every single person that says, like, I create art and I do drawings and my friend and I are available for dance bookings? I'm struggling with where to kind of draw the line, because otherwise it would be just like a little free for all. And, where do we draw that line about someone that really is, kind of qualified to be in the mix without cutting off people that are emerging and trying to break in? I don't know, Meryl.
I want to be able to amplify all those voices, but I think for this list, this initial ground level list that we're trying to, we're still trying to learn what we are supposed to be doing. And I think for this list, I think one of the key phrases that we might want to look at is public facing. If you are an artist in your own home, you are not public facing. And I think that limiting it to galleries that can still showcase those other artists, but the galleries are public facing. So that's just, just my thoughts for this initial list. This conversation could be revisited months from now as we know what our foundation is, as we know what our the whole purpose and what people want from us, it's like getting a input from a variety of folks so that we can build the bigger picture. Simple first before we start to grow.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. So I was kind of thinking that, if like these are the artists who do not have a space, that's why they are in their garage, but the business is registered. It's like
Yeah,
a
I think
business.
I think one of the I don't know, I guess is my short answer. My long answer is I think as long as the artist is accessible to the public, right? Otherwise, it would be odd for us to say, Melissa Liebert is a painter, and we could communicate with her, right? But then if we're promoting or we're connecting, maybe it's Melissa Liebert's artwork will be on display at Coffee Hound. The Coffee Hound rotates in artists and it's available to the public as like a showing, right? Like you can go see the artwork. So I guess I'm not opposed to having folks on the list as far as how we communicate with them. I think the part that we need to think through then is support, like we can help advocate for them as long and connect them to other artists, and they can participate in forums and, network, right? Because there's value in that. But as far as promoting or submitting something to the CVB calendar, or you're right. You want to make sure that is in a forum or somewhere where people can access it, because the whole accessibility and being able to see the public to participate is our role and is part of our role in connecting too. So I think there's value in having those folks in as part of our networking group. It's just a matter of how can we best support them? The answer is I'm not sure. But networking, I think, is one part. And then again, if they're showing their work publicly, I think that's something that can be on calendars and communicated to folks so people know where to view their art. Is that maybe?
I think we could be helpful, at least if we're talking about like a visual artist in their garage, kind of like what you're using the example, that we might be able to connect them with some galleries or other places that showcase art that they're not aware of, more than we should be trying to talk about their art specifically, because we don't need to get it so fractured that we're talking about every single individual. We want to try to keep this, especially in the beginning, keep it more simple for us, get this system going, and then see how we can expand out from there. And so we can talk up a venue or an event that may showcase a lot of different people. We might be able to connect them into that event or that venue, but not be promoting every single individual.
Right. Yeah, it's up to, I think, the commissioner who's the liaison to that organization or artist, I think would have the best pulse on, how to help them. And if it's, oh, hey, Tina actually is the one, or Ron's the one working with that gallery, let's make an introduction. It would, as with anything, it's going to be a little self-driven based on how much that artist organization wants to be involved, right? So they can help drive that discussion and determine, an introduction that we can make or how we can be supportive. So
introduction is a good word, in connection. Because I was thinking, like Tina was talking about the Hanger Art Company, and he has 11 artists right now, I think is what he said, that, it's a diverse collection. So helping connect an individual emerging artist to someone like that, like these are the people, you two need to know each other, and let them, so that they can be public facing. But we're not listing on the list. We're listing the Hanger Art Company. We are not listing each of the 11 individual artists.
Right.
Question. We are accepting Art therapy places, yes? Meryl?
Well, I did put that on there because is there public facing and yeah.
I just want to double check because there's Creative Healing Art Therapy LLC is across the hall from us now at the Creativity Center, and they are phenomenal. And so I wanted to
Yeah, go ahead and put them on there.
So I'm gonna add them in.
They do a lot of public facing.
All right. Well, we're
Cool.
thank you for that. That'll be great to have them on the list.
Yeah.
And we're getting close to time. So just a couple of next steps on, continue your own personal outreach as it makes, folks that you haven't heard from. If we need to add folks to the list, please do that. If you have other updates or questions, let me know, Meryl or Kelly. We'll, continue to coordinate between now and our next meeting, and then we'll communicate out after we have a quick chat with the CVB about maybe a tutorial, what that could look like. I don't want to lose, even though we're doing some individual outreach, I don't want to lose track of our subcommittees and some of the other work to drive us forward. So between now and our next meeting, I'll try to reach out to each of the subcommittee groups individually. I think I can do that, or maybe one person from each group via email, just to have some additional conversations about the priority within each subcommittee, just so we can keep those moving on parallel tracks.
Yep, that's a good point. We're sort of like, this list sort of is with our subcommittee. So
Yeah,
we're taking all the bandwidth right now. So someone else is next. Very good.
All right, everyone, have a
Very
great day.
quickly.
Enjoy
Mark?
the sunshine.
Very quickly, with regard to our subcommittee, if anybody hears of grant opportunities for artists, for anything cultural, arts-oriented, performance arts-oriented grants that we maybe haven't heard of them, please forward to one of us, to Jeff or to Julia or to me, and we'll put it on our little list that we're trying to compile so that we have something substantive to provide to people in that area. Because I mean, we're doing some searching, but you all are more connected, and you might just come across, you might get an email that says, hey, grant opportunities here every month, every year, whatever the case may be. And then just give us that little bit of information, the website or whatever, and then we can get the application and the other details and put it on the worksheet.
Very good.
I will say my wife actually was just looking at grants for the fine arts boosters at our school. And there's not a lot going on right now because of COVID. Everything shut down, money supply was, so I do know that things are lean in that area currently, but hopefully it'll be opening back up soon.
Yeah, a lot of them have paused, because I do this for another organization too. So, but at least we just get the information that they exist, and then somebody else can track when they reopen. And but you're right, they've paused.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. Thank you.
Good work, everyone.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you
See
so
ya.
much. Everybody.
Thank you.